friends, guests, and adventurers of all ages. Tonight's show is for the brave, the fearless, and the dangerously curious. Witness feats of strength, daring acrobatics, and mystifying magic. Get ready to have the most astounding night of your life. Welcome to the Circus of Wayward Wonders. Welcome to Roll for Combat, Three-Ring Adventure.
Hey everyone, welcome to Roll for Combat, Three-Ring Adventure. I'm your GM and host, Stephen Glicker, and in this week's episode, we get back to the circus and promoting the circus. That's right. Wasn't this a circus podcast at one point? It seems like they've been doing everything except doing the circus. Well, this week, we get back to the circus. So those of you who are Patreons, believe it or not, you get to listen to a different episode. That's right. I actually cut this episode differently. The Patreon people are listening to an episode that included the promotion of the circus as well as the circus itself. But for various reasons, because of the way the editing came out, I decided to change it. So this week, you're going to actually listen to the promotion of the circus, and then next week, you're going to actually listen to the circus itself. Now, the promotion actually takes a while because, well, we're going to go through some rules, and we're going to go through how they promote the circus, and what the various upgrades they want to do, and so forth. So just keep that in mind when you're listening to this week's episode. And also, instead of having one massive episode, I could have had a 3-hour episode. I instead cut it up into 2 episodes that are about maybe an hour and a half each. So that's just, me trying to keep it a little sane. As you know, these episodes have been getting longer and longer and longer. If you remember, at first, I used to have all my episodes for the show about 45 minutes, maybe an hour at most. Every so often we went over an hour. But just because of the sheer size of this adventure path, I decided to make these episodes much longer. Otherwise, it was going to take like 5 years to get through this adventure path. So I've been making these episodes 2.5 hours. Well, not 2.5. 2 hours long, more or less. And it makes editing a lot easier in some ways and harder in others. This is a perfect example of I didn't really want to make one episode 2.5 plus hours long. So I just cut it into 2. And the ramp up to just get the circus ready and for them to get ready to perform took a lot longer than I expected. So everything's good. Everything's cool. So this week you get a little bit of a break. You can enjoy the holiday week. You get an hour-long episode this week, an hour and a half next week, and voila, everyone is back to normal. So one thing I wanted to mention was that we had a very roleplay heavy episode a week or so ago. And what I'm using is what I like to call the David Eddings method of role-playing. For those of you who ever read a David Eddings book in the Belgariad, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. But I noticed that when he wrote his books, he would always have his chapters divided up into the following. He would have people walking, talking, and doing character development. He would have fighting, and then he would have a chapter of overall story and character development. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. I find that David Eddings, one of the best-selling authors of all time, really kind of knew what he was doing, and it's a nice cadence. So if you notice, last week we kind of had character development. This week we have a little bit of more fun story and circus development as well as character development. We're also going to have overall story development for the entire adventure coming up, and then we'll have fighting and battling. So as long as you sort of keep this mix going, it keeps the story moving forward. And that's what I'm doing. So if any of you want to know, and if you feel like, wow, there's too much fighting going on, don't worry. Next week or so, we'll probably have character development. I never let them fight for too long without switching over to character development or overall story development. But so where does the circus fall in on this? Well, the circus is sort of, a sideshow, if you will, kind of a fun aspect of this. I mean, that is part of the adventure. It's for them to run a circus, and there is some things coming up to challenge them. One thing right away is that all the other acts are only level 1, and the level 1 acts just can't really do as much and generate as much excitement as the level 3 act can, which they're going to be doing. And as they move forward, they need to find new acts and to recruit new people. And as they get to higher levels, those acts get really crazy. You get to see some really fun, bizarre acts. So that's part of also another metagame, is that right now they're just going out and, well, kind of taking care of business and killing a lot of people. But in the very near future, they're going to actually have to start recruiting people, because as they get to level 5 and 6 and 7, they can't rely on the level 1 people doing tricks and generating enough excitement for them to succeed. But they're always going to have to be continuously looking for new people and upgrading the circus. So back to the original question, where does that fall in? It falls into the minigame category. Many of these adventure paths have minigames. I've seen in the past, like Kingmaker, where you're actually building a kingdom, and that's part of the minigame. I've seen mass combat rules. There's a lot of these mini games, and in this one, it's running the circus. And they actually say in the Adventure Path, you can just abstract this and not even worry about running the circus, and you can just say it happens. Or you can get into the nitty-gritty and figure out where every penny's being spent, what level the acts are, what tricks they can do, how many tricks they can do, and so forth. And for this podcast, we're going to the nitty-gritty. Vanessa created this amazing Google spreadsheet that figures out everything you need for the circus. If any of you are running this on your own, you can just go to the Discord channel, just discord.rollforcombat.com, and you too can check that out, and you will be able to get everything you need to run the circus on your own. It's an amazing spreadsheet that calculates everything, because there's a lot of math involved with running the circus, let me tell you. And that's really just part of it. It's just sort of a fun activity. And as we move forward, because we're much further in this adventure than what you're listening to, the circus is going to start becoming a bit of a headache, let's just say. It's right now, first time they ran the circus, there was, murder, death, and chaos. The second time, it probably will go a little bit smoother, probably. I want to at least have one circus go relatively smooth, and then we'll start throwing in the shenanigans, and they're just going to get, interesting. I don't want to spoil anything, but they are going to ask for things to be done, and then they are going to be done. And the old adage, be careful what you wish for because you might just get it, is going to come back and bite them in the ass big time, which is unfortunately several podcasts away. But I think you all will enjoy that. Anyhow, I've been going on way too long about the circus and lengths of podcast episodes, so let's get to this week's quick show notes. Do check out the Patreon. As you know, you can listen to the shows early if you just donate $5, and you actually would have listened to, this episode plus parts of next week's episode if you're a patron, because I recut it. You can also check out our Discord channel and play lots of free games. We've been starting pretty much a game a day right now. I've been very busy adding new games. Just go to discord.rollforcombat.com, and if you get to level 10, you get a free t-shirt. And don't forget, if you put in $10 a month, you can listen and watch us play every single week, usually twice a week, both Pathfinder Society with the Black Lodge, as well as the Adventure Path. And we might be doing some other things in the near future. We will look into that and let you know. But with that, let's get to the promoting of the 3-Ring Adventure Circus for this week.
Otteron plans to get up and then head into town to start promoting the circus.
Rob Pontius is playing Otteron, Uncanny Otteron's Cauldron of Curious Concoctions, a human witch of curses.
So that's my plan.
Yeah, that is Alhara's plan as well.
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Alhara Varys, the amazingly agile Alhara, a half-elf gymnast swashbuckler.
Promote the circus.
Yeah, promote the circus. If you have nothing to do, that's what we'll do.
Rob Tremarco is playing Darius Varys, Darius's Daring Destructions, a half-elf monk of the mountain style.
As you say, let's take a moment to talk about this. Do any of us have anything to do other than promote the circus?
Lauren Sig is playing Hap, the Starlight Sparrow, a human fire elementalist sorcerer.
No.
I mean, there's the hanging, Mayor went to see the druids. The hanging thread. But are we going to visit the druids?
I thought you were going to hang someone. You're like, this criminal here deserves to be hung. I'm like, what?
No, I
Well-
had this real cool dream last night. No.
Wait, what?
Nothing. I didn't. That's out of character. That's supposed to be funny. It wasn't. No, unless we do anything else to look for the mayor, right? We're circusing.
Well, yeah, I mean, promoting the show takes, 2 days? So if we promote the show, then the next thing that we will do is the circus. I think that's our
correct.
situation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you have it's day 5 and day 6 and day 7 is the circus. So you have in downtime, this is it. You only have today and tomorrow. You spend 2 consecutive days in town generating anticipation. You attempt a society check, and it's based on your group party level. So the DC will be 18 because you are now party. You
Yeah.
are 3.
Will you let us substitute society for perform? Because, that's what we're doing. I would be actually performing to drum up interest.
I will, but I'm going to make the DC much higher.
Yeah. What's my society? My society is +5, but my performance when I dance is +13. So, I will take a higher DC.
Okay. And critical success is you generate anticipation equal to twice the sum of your level plus your charisma modifier. And success is you generate anticipation equal to your level plus your charisma modifier. If you fail, you still generate 1. And if you critically fail, you do 0.
And
Is Alhara aiding Ataran?
You can
no,
aid.
she's gonna do her own.
Yeah,
'Cause I
okay.
think we
we
need
all
to
do
build
our
up
own.
a bunch. Yeah, because I think we need to build up a bunch, and there's at least a slight advantage for failure, just not critical failure, and critical failure doesn't hurt us. So at this point, it makes sense for us to just do our own,
Word.
especially because we only have one shot at this before the show to get as much anticipation as possible.
Well, you currently have anticipation of 3 and excitement of 4.
Yeah, our anticipation
pretty
is
good.
stupid low. No, it's stupid low.
Well, it can't go any higher than 20.
Sure, but last time it started at what, like 10, 15, and then it maxed
15.
out?
Well, we had a headmaster, and then he died.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
right,
true.
I know. But that's why I'm saying I
Darn.
think that we really need to get those numbers up. They're rookie numbers, and
Can we
because
tap into some of the circus resources to help generate anticipation?
we have a little bit. So we bought
did.
Yeah, we bought ads.
Yeah. Okay.
And that gave you 2 anticipation because you started off with 1 and now you got 2 more. So now you're up to 3. So that's where
Mhm.
you're at.
I feel like those are just little numbers that you can tack on to the big numbers, which are the players drumming up interest by rolling society.
Which we haven't really done. So I think
Yeah.
if we do a little bit of that, we should be okay.
Yeah. I mean,
Alright,
that's
so
what we
who
have
wants
to.
do what in the next 2 days? Because you have 2 days and we'll just semi-fast track this.
Yep.
Well, I think everyone is drumming up interest. I don't know why I can't remember what it's called. Everyone is promoting the
Promote
circus.
the circus.
Promoting the circus. Sure.
Word.
So all 4 of you are going to be doing your own promotion for
Word.
2 days in a row.
Yes.
Okay. So while we're doing this, there's a few things. You don't forget you have the savings, you have the jewelry, you have the scarf, and you have that scroll that you failed to identify the other day. If you ever want to try to ID any of that stuff.
I don't ID the scarf. I know what it does without the magical ID because the farmer told me it makes your dance better. So I just wear it and yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But I don't wear it like a scarf. I wear it
No.
like a sash.
But you
You
don't
don't
know how
want to study the
activate it.
magic and figure out how it works?
Yeah, it's not going to really do anything if you just put it on.
Well, I mean, the dude told me how it works. Is that not how the game works?
Nope.
I didn't know.
You
that.
have to invest.
Oh, and you can't invest until it's properly identified.
I believe so. And the reason is because you have to know the keywords, you need how to activate it. It's like having the passcode to a cell phone.
Yeah.
It's like you got the phone.
It's
but you
very
need
important
know
to
how
be
turn it on.
investing in.
Okay.
Because you can only invest. I mean, I don't think it ever will come up, at least right now. You get 10 items, and we haven't even looked at it because most of you have 0 or 1. But eventually, that could turn into a thing where you have more than 10 items, and you can only turn on 10 at a time.
Okay.
So it does come up.
I misunderstood the way that second edition works, so I would like to. Aderon, will you please look at this? Yesterday.
Sure.
We'll see. All right, I'll do.
Okay.
Adoran wouldn't have looked at it till they were done with the wraps anyway.
He looks at it today, cheater.
How's that
Cheater.
cheating? I didn't know.
Learn the rules.
That's what we're all here to do. Isn't that right, dear listener?
That's right. Acheron easily is able to identify, especially because they already knew what it was. And it is a dancing scarf, long billowing scarf that is woven of silk and has bells and other jangly bits of silver, shiny metal. Gives you a +1 performance checks to only dance.
Which is,
Almost as if it was made for Hap.
was it?
No. But
That's really,
I know.
that's
it's
really
amazing.
ironic.
I know. You activate it if you want.
Don't
you
you
can
think?
also use it. I think only once per day is deactivated. I don't know. I don't know how often it does that, but
All the time.
is that constant?
This isn't all the time. Yeah, it doesn't have a once per
Yep.
day because it would
Holy
have
crap.
frequency or something like that.
Oh, crap.
That looks broken. Well, you can spend one action to. Oh, well, you also have to succeed at a performance check to dance.
Yeah,
And then you become concealed.
Well, what's
into
the
your
DC?
next turn.
there's no DC. Oh, it's probably just your levels DC probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Simple check.
So
What does
18 right now.
concealment do in this?
Concealment is really good. It makes it harder for them to hit you or even find you.
Conceal, don't feel.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's not
it's very
like
good.
it's not like flat-footed, like -2 AC or anything, is it? Is it like flat check to hit you?
Yes, it's like they need a flat check of DC, I think 5 or higher to hit you.
What's nice about this is since day one, since Hap has been using magic, she's been dancing as part of it. So I can do 1 action dance, 2 action produce flame, and it's what I've been doing.
It's a 20% mischance. It's the same. It's 20% mischance, aka a DC 5 or higher flat check for them to hit you. So
They
that's-
would have never guessed that I would have accidentally made the perfect character for this scarf. I wear
Yeah,
it.
it's gonna be burned up and destroyed in the very next encounter.
Oh no!
How much coin is in the coin purse?
You look at the coin purse and the Hofton's life savings, you realize, is 11 gold pieces. And their jewelry that you stole,
Why? We didn't steal it. They gave it to us.
that you took and were not nice enough to give back to them, evil.
What?
You,
They insisted we take it.
I mean,
It would've-
Alhara is the one who accepted it. Thank you
It
very
would
much.
have been it would have been rude for us
yes, I'm
to
sure.
insist that they keep something that they just gave us, like to reject their present, to reject their gratitude. Ugh, that would have been evil.
I'm sure they can't wait to go to the circus and see you wearing their jewelry during the performance.
No.
they're looking
You know what?
forward to
You're
They're going to be
right,
able
you're
to
right.
buy it back themselves from the market.
Right,
At a
that's right.
huge cost.
You are going to sell it back to the town, and then they can buy it back from the hawk. So
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
nice.
that's fair. Or we could have just burned their mill to the ground. I mean, I guess we could.
Whoa. We're not the mob.
You've been hanging out with the
Not-
goat for too long. I
Not
tell
yet,
you.
anyway.
Probably. No,
I
no.
learned some things from the guys
at
at the mug, yo. We're going to go burn that mill and then, get paid to fix it. Nice.
That dancing scarf, if you ever want to sell it, it's 60 gold pieces.
We will
man.
never
That
sell
is
it.
that is worth a fortune.
We will
Oh.
never sell it. That's
But what about
mine.
that
Look,
jewelry we're not going to
You
sell?
don't need to dance.
That's
You don't need to dance.
I dance all the time. I can dance if I want to.
That's right.
But a +1, I would change that +1 for 60 gold.
How much is the
Yeah.
jewelry worth?
It's only worth 30 if you sell. The jewelry is worth, I'm just going to tell you, 14 gold. So 11 gold in savings, 14 gold in jewelry. So 25 gold pieces for saving the mill. Not too bad.
That's pretty
Not too
good.
shabby. And then you have the scroll. I'm very curious about that scroll. I've been pushing you because I even in character as a GM want someone to identify because it's kind of neat.
I think we just forgot about it. Adoran, identify that thing.
In
No,
fact,
do it.
Adoran
Well,
tried.
no, I guarantee people forget about it. That's actually why I always bring these things up. We once went something like a year before people remember to ID something they found. It's very easy to forget.
I've got it on the list. It just
Well, then I'm never gonna remind you ever again, Rob.
Yeah, don't
just-
remind Rob, but remind Lauren. I'll go ahead and try and identify it. No worries.
Okay.
if you recall, Otteron tried to get Hap to look at it, and Hap said they were busy.
Hap is very busy burning herself. She is turning into a little pyromaniac. What would you normally be using? What the heck is your main sorceress ability?
Yeah, what is your will
nature.
save bonus anyway?
Otteron learned it was primal and
no, for Hap.
Yeah, that's it.
nature.
It is nature.
It's nature.
They're
Okay,
primal, and the spell was primal, which is why Otteron
Oh, right.
was encouraging them to look at it.
Do you want to know what the scroll is?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Hap opens it up, sees the scroll, and really it takes her a while to figure it out because she's heard of this spell, but it's rare and uncommon, so she never saw it before. The scroll you find is called Unseasonable Squall, and it's a level 3 uncommon arcane and primal spell. And it allows you to issue a blast of sudden wind that ripples outward from the center of the burst. The wind extinguishes all non-magical fires, disperses fog and mist, scatters objects of light bulk or less, and pushes unsecured objects of 1 bulk or less 5 feet away from the spell's origin point. Each medium or smaller creature in the area, when you cast a spell or moves into the area, must attempt a fortitude saving throw. And if they succeed, they're unaffected. If they fail, they're knocked prone. And if they're flying, they're pushed away 30 feet or critical failure, knocked prone, and takes 2d6 bludgeoning damage. It's basically a very tiny little storm that appears somewhere on the ground.
So it's like an AoE gust of wind, right?
Pretty much.
Uh,
Except it's called Unseasonable Squall.
And it's level 3. I'm just going to keep this until we're level 5 and I'll just learn it.
There you go. If you want, that's correct.
I learned that from Luis. As a sorcerer, you can learn uncommon spells from scrolls when you learn spells.
That's really,
Really?
cool.
Yes.
Even I did not know that. Well, there's going to be a lot of uncommon and rare spells coming up, so keep them coming.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, if you want, Steve, you can go ahead and apply this to my character sheet. I'm just going to hold on to it unless somebody wants to contest that.
I updated the inventory that you have it.
Okay, thanks.
Here we go. Moving the dancing scarf to Hap. Moving the scroll to Hap.
Everything's coming
Wow.
up, Hap.
Everything's coming up Hap.
Yeah, I'm
So-
glad you got that.
I get every reference. So what else is there? Is there anything else you did not ID? I'm looking around here. You know what the holy water is? No, you guys are pretty good.
I'm going to throw out a reference later, and I'm going to see if you catch it.
Go right ahead. Have you listened to the other podcast? That podcast is nothing but geek references at a machine gun pace.
I have never even listened to a single one of my own podcasts.
I made a Simpson reference, and I don't think anyone got it.
I didn't hear it. What was it?
It was about the dog's name.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, Santa's Little Helper. Of course I understand.
All right,
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you.
Oh, I
Obviously,
just didn't
yeah.
hear it.
I guess it was
Sorry.
just so terrible, no one acknowledged it. Got it.
There was other
Well-
stuff going on at the time.
I didn't know what that was. Please.
People at home were laughing, trust me.
No.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
No.
You're gonna have to do some deep cuts. I'll start making them. The problem is I used to make them, but no one ever acknowledged my references, so I kind of stopped. But I'll start up again.
No, we
All right. So I think you're all set. You got the scroll, got the scarf. Does that mean I have to give Hap an extra +1 to her performance? How annoying.
Yes. I will be doing dance performances at +13.
She's so pretty. She's a star.
+1 to hit for me.
Well, good thing the +13. Oh, that's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
you get a +1 for dance.
My performance is +11, and I have +1 from dance for virtuosic
Ooh.
performer, and another +1 for this scarf.
Oh
I am
my.
way too good at dancing for a level 3 character.
Yeah, don't worry. It's gonna come.
Oh no.
As long as you aren't dance fighting, I don't think this is ever going to come up that often. so.
That's one thing that I do as a player is I like to super max out something that isn't min maxy. Like one of my first podcast characters super maxed out cooking Like, that will never be relevant, but it's fun to have that kind of shtick. And this is Hap shtick.
Oh, so it's never going to be relevant? So you just gave me permission to tell you can't use dance for the promote circus activity. Thank you.
What I mean is, it's
No.
not going to keep anyone alive, Steve.
Oh,
This isn't dancing. Isn't going to kill the big bad guy.
That's not what you said. You said it's not relevant.
The
It doesn't come into
circus is
play.
not relevant in all
Oh,
reality.
the whole
And people
thing
say
is
Steve is antagonistic.
It's
Oh.
the circus is fun, but it's not going to solve the adventure. We enjoy
How
doing
do
it.
you
It doesn't kill the big bad guy. Because that was
I
one of the
know.
things Paisel said. They said you could totally not do the circus if you wanted to.
They changed it. In fact, the
Oh, did they?
I actually got the 6th book, and in the 6th book, it's a level 20 dance battle. So
Oh,
it's actually like Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy. I'm sorry.
I'm training for it.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
All right, with that, let's get promoting. Who wants to go first? We'll just knock off 2 days. We'll go
Yep.
to day
Yeah.
day 7 and day
I'll
8.
go.
Who? Okay, go gadget. Whoever that was.
It's Rob.
Which one?
All right. So no bonuses, just my society roll.
Straight society. Here we go. Ooh, 13.
I will use a hero point.
4. Okay, because that's a big old F.
Slightly better.
You roll a 7 for a 16.
Hmm.
You go around, but since Acheron talks so quietly and takes so long to say everything, they really need to learn the skill of promotion. So they only generate 1 anticipation.
Ooh, you still generated some though.
Some mostly because people were so interested in seeing what they do at the circus. I think it was more pity anticipation. Sorry about that. Who's up next?
Yeah, never mind. I don't think Barker helps that.
Why don't you go ahead and just call out people? Because nobody's gonna step up.
Alhara will go. She'll take a stab at it.
There we go.
Yeah, I was about to call Vanessa. We're gonna have Hap go last.
I'm fine with that.
24. That's pretty good.
That's so good. Good job.
24, you succeed. So you generate anticipation equal to your level plus your charisma modifier.
Since I'm level 3, that is a total of 3.
Your charisma modifier is 0. So.
Yeah, she's a little awkward.
So 3. 3 times more than Acheron.
Well, we're working on them.
Yeah, well, people were still impressed. You were going around, you were showing off your skills with the bow staff. You were dancing around. Everyone's excited.
I'm untrained in society. Is that the only skill that we need to use?
Oh no.
I have diplomacy and hobnobber, but that's for gathering information.
Well, Hobnobber, no. So I will amend it, but I'm going to tell you the DC is much higher if you're going to use a different skill. So it's fine.
Well, if the DC is anything and I have a +0,
That's
and it's
true.
like an 18,
That's
no,
true.
no way.
And you need a really good roll, don't you? Or maybe
Yeah.
you can invest in society. Who knows?
Eventually, sure, but not by the next 2 minutes.
I did invest in society, and I still have a greater than 50% chance to fail.
Yeah,
I have a
same
plus
here.
9, so what are you gonna do, right?
I know. Bad rolls, though.
I mean, I'll just roll if you need me to roll.
Wait, no. I'm going to see. What do you have here? Oh, his diplomacy is 7.
Diplomacy
I'll say
7.
you can use. Your rolls are so crappy anyhow. Go right ahead and roll
Sure.
diplomacy, and it's just going to be higher because instead you're trying to convince people rather than show off and become. Oh, here comes
Sure.
diplomacy. Check. Ooh, 17.
17.
That wouldn't even make the base DC.
Oh.
So, do you have a hero point left?
Unless we get it for sleeping. I don't have
No,
one.
All right.
What about
so
for all that great RP?
he used it,
Okay.
I used it.
and you fail, and you generate 1 anticipation. So you still got some. I mean, that's twice what you had before. You went from 4 to 8. It's pretty good. You're almost at the halfway point of anticipation. But you go around and try to convince people by talking to them.
Drinking
really?
and
Yeah,
partying with them,
doesn't-
and then they forget why I was there, and we just drink.
yeah,
and
pretty
party.
much. They were having so much fun with Darius. that
Right.
I think he kind of forgot, like, oh, there's a circus. We just want to hang out with that guy. He's cool, man.
So Darius got 4.
He got what?
How many points did Darius earn?
1.
Oh, you said okay. Yeah.
One.
So between 3 of the 4 party members, we've gotten
Got 2.
No, you have.
Oh, I
you
see.
have
5.
You have 1, a 3, and a 1. Oh, I miscalculated. Sorry. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you start off with 3, and you've gotten 5. I made a
Oh,
mistake.
okay. I missed. Yeah.
That's where I was
So you're up
confused.
to 8.
Okay.
You're up to 8. Sorry, I just made a mistake. Finally, the ringer,
The
the
ringer.
grand champion,
Oh gosh.
the girl.
The girl on fire. Hey, that is
Girl
what they call
Fire. Hapniss Everdeen. Let's see what she can pull off with her magic scarf, her dancing ability, and her plucky attitude.
Let's see what a plucky attitude can do. But I'll tell you what, Steve, I'm not here to just throw dice. I'm here to roleplay. So let me tell you how this goes down.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna go to the center of the town. I'm gonna climb up onto the fountain, which is a little rough for me because I'm kind of short. Gather around, everyone. Come witness the spectacles that you can see at the Circus of Wayward Wonders. And I'm gonna throw 2 gouts of flame into the air. All right, am I starting to get people's attention?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's over 2 days, so it's gonna take it's a lot. You're gonna have to keep doing it
Okay.
all day. It's an all-day activity. This is 16 hours of activity.
Yeah, but like, you got to get one good one out. So, we have all kinds of amazing acts. Watch the Varus twins and their feats of strength, and then I don't know, like throw like fire at the ground and it like explodes at my feet or something. Witness the uncanny Otteron's cauldron of mysteries. Whatever will come out next. But best of all, and I'll do like a little like kung fu dance, and then I'll watch as the amazing Hap, the Starlight Sparrow, summons for you fiery wonders from the forest realms and reaches of Galarian, and I'll throw a fiery dragon into the air, and then I'd like to roll my performance.
I'm still waiting for the dancing part. I hear a lot of fire. Where's the
I
dance?
did the dance before. This is how it always works. I do my dance right before I throw the fire. Like it's like a little Shaolin, like kung fu style, and then like at the end when they throw a punch, instead of throwing a punch, I throw my fists forward with palms out, and fire comes out. That's what I do.
So is everyone kung fu fighting?
I am kung
Is that
fu
what's
fighting.
happening?
I am
Okay.
kung fu fighting.
Surely not
see,
everyone was kung fu fighting.
It's a kung fu
Okay.
dance, is what it is. That's my
Kung fu
character.
Dancing.
Yeah.
Everyone's kung fu dancing.
And because everyone's counting on me, can I give myself guidance?
No, it takes all day.
Okay.
It takes all 2 days.
I know it's 2 days. It's
It's like your
16 hours.
7th dance today.
No.
All right,
You
well,
can't
let's see what I can do. Gosh, I'm so bad at rolling dice, though. I'm so nervous.
Yeah, you should be nervous. This is going to go.
You're only the anchor.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh, that's terrible.
Gosh, I can't believe that I rolled a natural hero point.
A 3
Mhm.
plus a 13. You didn't even make the base DC.
What are the odds of rolling a
Roll-
natural hero point?
That's
Mhm.
terrible.
Oh.
Oh my
Wow. You roll a
Yep.
4. Wait, 4 plus 0. That's
Well,
impossible.
she just rolled a d20.
Yeah, I got
Oh,
seven.
Either way.
Yeah, okay. So
See, I'm terrible at dice games. I'd be good at this game if I could roll worth a damn.
well, let's see. You roll a 16, and then you roll a
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
17.
and you didn't even make the base DC of 18, let alone the harder DC of trying to use something other. You need to work on your performance, Hap. And I think you're just not used to the scarf. I think all the bells and the jingling was getting in your way.
I'm just imagining Hap like getting lost in her performance and like
That's
staring
probably
up
exactly
at
what
the fire.
happened.
Like, woo, pretty.
She's just like she's more interested in it, and she forgets here, Hap. I'll make you feel any better.
You're that girl at the rave that's just lost.
No, this is it. Your dancing and your fire performance was fantastic, and everyone left there going, "Wow, that was really impressive. I wonder what it was for."
Oh.
She forgot to tell them about the circus. Oh, that's right.
Don't.
Oh, maybe next time bring flyers.
Maybe next time bring a second hero point.
Are we spending money on ads? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we already
did.
did.
We did
Can I
that already,
spend
right?
money to bring those people back and try again? Hey, come back! I've got money.
Maybe we should just use intimidate. Hey, you know how we saved your town? You better show up.
Got 9 anticipation. 9's not so bad.
8.
It's not so good either.
Did Hap actually earn one?
Yeah, she gets 1 for failing. She still gets 1.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Well, that's not
These
bad. So yeah,
DCs are pretty
9.
high.
This is only 1
Failures.
lower than we had when we started our first show in this town, so that's not terrible.
Oh, okay.
Now you have 9, so it's
Oh,
6.
yeah.
gosh.
Honestly, this one will probably be one that we're definitely gonna like beat, but not crit beat, and that's fine.
This is going to be a stinker.
No, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna do well. We want to do well, but we want to do well with high anticipation. It just means it's not gonna be like our first show where we crit it like at max anticipation. That was nuts. This is just gonna be like we're gonna
Maybe we'll
we're
get
gonna do
lucky
normal
and
well.
demons will show up and we can fight the
Oh my
demons in
God.
front of everybody.
Well, I'll tell you.
Oh no!
Before
Please
the
don't.
show
That's gonna
begins-
Don't
happen.
give us a Kinohora.
Now, before the... Wow, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed, Vanessa, what you just said there. I'm sure no one understood that except me and the other members of the Israelites out there. Anyhow,
Wait, no, not everyone knows Yiddish.
I couldn't even hear it.
oh, I know Yiddish fluently. Trust me, I grew up. My grandparents both spoke fluent Yiddish, both of them. So you can do a temporary upgrade of beer for a mere 5 gold pieces. You don't need to decide this now. You decide this when the show is about to start. And that will give you an additional 2d6 anticipation.
Well, I think we're obviously doing that. Let's go ahead and decide that right now. We're doing that.
We talked about it before and we decided not to because it runs the risk of bringing drunks in and problems.
Oh.
Automatically, it doesn't bring in the risk. It automatically brings drunks to the circus, no matter what.
But if you remember last time, the drunks brought excitement and anticipation too.
That's true. That is true. That is true. But that's your call, not mine. But you can bring beer, and that will make it more exciting.
I think we have to do it. I
No,
think
I
it's
think
a
we had-
no-brainer.
We had decided, I think, already to buy beer before.
Mm.
Oh yeah, you're right. We did decide to buy beer already.
It's a day of thing, right? Like the day we do
Yeah.
The
yeah,
same
yeah,
day
so
we
we
decided
can
to do
see-
the advertisements,
Yeah.
we decided to do the beer,
Yeah.
and we already
Mhm.
spent we already spent the money on it.
Oh,
In
then there
other
you go.
words, don't fret, guys. There's going to be alcohol.
Yeah.
So this is how it works. When you put on the show, you decide right before the show, you can purchase temporary upgrades, and those are temporary upgrades. The other ones you have to do ahead of time, but beer, confections, merchandise, I don't think you have to worry about merchandise, and disposable binoculars, which you can't afford anyhow. Those you can all do right before the show. And that's really just to give you a little boost if you want. You then choose the non-performer roles. You then roll for random events where I roll them to see what happens. Then we figure out your starting anticipation. We figure out your starting excitement. Then you perform the circus, and then we calculate the payout, and that's that. Now, one thing to keep in mind is because this is the second circus this week, you can make no more than 75% of the maximum payout possible.
You mean
So
at this
that-
location?
At this location, that's
Oh, okay.
correct.
Oh, okay.
So every time you perform in the same location, it goes down by 25% until it goes down to 0. So right now.
All right,
Other
so like,
locations might be
yeah, the
different.
first show is your big show, and then you have like a second, maybe a third, and then you probably move on.
Yeah, because even if you were perfect, right? It's because after 4 it's the same show, so people are bored.
Right.
And that can change if you go to much bigger cities. You might have more times you can repeat your performances.
Right, because there's more opportunities for different
Yep.
people. Yeah, okay.
So that's day 8, and then tomorrow would be day 9, and that's when the big show is. Is anyone going to do anything?
You say day
before
9
the
like we
big show?
don't have a real calendar.
Well, you have the real calendar. I go by days because it's just easier for me.
I know.
But you can use the calendar.
What you meant to say was that on Moon Day, the 30th of Farast, is when we're having the show.
Boom, boom, boom.
If you give me a calendar, I'll put it in the I'll put it in the actual
Yeah, you can.
battle map.
It's I think it's
Tomorrow
pinned.
is the 31st of Harassed, which is Punch Day for those who lost belongings.
Oh
But it's
yeah.
also Check on Your Neighbor Day, according to the calendar.
Yeah,
looking up a Galarian calendar.
I've
I
got
wonder
one.
if
I would
that
have copied
calendar
it all
has
in.
Punch Day on it.
It's my personal calendar.
Steve, it's
Oh, okay.
it's
I distributed it.
linked. Yeah, it's linked in the chat and it's pinned, so you should be able to find it. And I use the Galarian calendar calculator to get all the days and stuff, and then set it up in here for this month and next.
Holy crap!
I told you.
Calendared.
Because you come back and you all go over each other's notes of how you all did, and you realize, except for Alhara, you all did terrible, and no one is going to the show. So, time to break out the beer. Who wants to do the roll of 2d6 to determine how much?
I think it should be a D6 by Darius and a D6 by Alhara, because clearly,
No hero points
yeah,
for this.
clearly we would have them get it from the Mad Mug where they're so popular.
That's true.
Mhm.
Correct.
So
I like that idea.
I think a D6 for each of you.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see them rolls. Here we go. Here comes the D6.
All right, all right,
It's
all
a
right.
5. Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Not
Okay.
bad.
5 and a 4.
Not bad. Oh, and a 4. Wow.
Yeah, so we got a
What does that bring you
9.
up to 18?
18.
That's a lot of beer, y'all.
Now we have a good
That's a lot of
show.
beer. That's a lot of beer. You know what? It's funny. You spending all week drumming up anticipation got you 9 anticipation, 5 golden beer,
Got
9
you
anticipation. That's all you need to know.
I mean, it's how the dice, fell, so it's all right. But starting with 18 out of 20 is actually puts us in a great spot, because then we can basically figure like it will probably get bumped up by 1 or 2 by the end, and so really 20 is our target number, and I think that's good. I'd rather have that than the sort of nebulous. We don't know what it is. I think it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a fascinating show because all the drunkards are coming out. They're excited.
Atron will prepare a lot of grim tendrils.
Oh no, that might be a little bit too deadly for rambunctious audience members.
It'll be exciting.
You don't want to kill anyone.
Yeah, murdering people doesn't really make people want to come see your show.
I like how I made my character's magic extremely lethal, but she's extremely non-violent.
Mm.
Till she
Well,
threatens
it's not
people.
lethal to you. It's just lethal to everyone else.
Oh yeah, that's the important fact.
She doesn't realize it. She's like, wait, fire doesn't hurt myself, but it hurts other people? I don't quite understand that concept.
What is this?
Seriously, it's like it's like she was able to handle fire without any problem. And it barely burned her. Like, yeah, every so often, but not something so bad that it like set people like on fire ablaze and killing them. But them's the breaks. So everyone hunkered down, got ready to put on the show, and they spent 2 whopping days promoting this week's circus. And how'd that go? Well, let's look. We got, out of 4 people, 3 failures and 1 success. So instead, what did they do to attract people? Beer. That's right, beer. The beer worked because you got a whopping 7 anticipation from 2 full days of going out and telling people about the circus. But by spending just a couple of gold and telling everyone there's going to be beer there, you got 9 anticipation. So,
Oh, yeah. Everyone's
good
very
job.
excited to go to the circus and get drunk.
drunk. And now I believe, what do we have? A max anticipation of 19 right now.
Well,
Sorry,
max
not
is
max.
max is 20.
Right.
We're currently sitting at 18 anticipation.
No, 19 because I forgot
Nice.
one. I forgot because you got not 3 points. You got 4
Oh, I
points.
got 4. That's right. Okay, yeah. So yeah, 19.
19 out of 20. You're almost at the max.
Yeah,
So
we'll
that's
probably
where
hit
we
that
look.
no problem.
yeah, you're probably. So you're done because the way it works is you only have 6 days to promote. The 7th day does not allow promotion. So with that being said, there's nothing really going on in the town. You were able to sort of put out all the fires. You're level 3. You have a show to put on. I'm
Cool.
presuming we're just going to go to the 7th day.
Yeah,
and
I think
start the show.
we're ready to start the show. We need to do a little bit
Time
of
to start.
planning on who's going to perform. I think we should swap out some of our acts for the folks that didn't get a chance to go last time.
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who are joining us, this is the second show that they have put on so far. They did put on, obviously, the very first show and got a perfect excitement and anticipation, 20 out of 20, which
Mhm.
was pretty mind-boggling and got a perfect outcome. But now you're level 3. Now, something to keep in mind is that the people that are going to be helping you out, they're still level 1. So
Mhm.
they can generate a huge amount of excitement when they perform. You being the PCs can create way more excitement with your tricks because you generate excitement equal to the tricks level. And the tricks level is, I believe, your
Equal
level?
to our level. Mhm.
Right. So
Yeah, there might be some special things that play in at some point to raise or lower that, but generally it's going to be the level of the character performing it.
correct.
Are we allowed to use those level 1 NPCs to do some of the behind the scenes things like pyrotechnics?
Unfortunately,
No.
no.
Nope. You may not.
Am I allowed to call BS on that?
I mean, you
Sure.
could call it, but
I'm
Sure.
calling it.
If Jason Tondro's in the stream, you can yell at him directly.
I would.
or Ron Lundeen.
I would
Cool.
yell at them respectfully, directly.
That's true.
Respectful.
I think it's because PCs are supposed to be a cut above NPCs, and so it's like, yeah, we could get George over there to do pyrotechnics, but George is just gonna like do the bare minimum. But if a PC does it, then it's gonna be really good.
I'd be fine to take like half the bonus from pyrotechnics to get a level 1 NPC doing it, even bare minimum.
Okay. So instead of a +1 on fire tricks, we get a +1/2, which rounds down to +0. That works.
yeah, that'd be fine. Okay, maybe you get like a +1 for the first time you roll the fire check. After that's gone, done.
Well, let me explain to you something. Now, one of the rules in the circus is that as the GM, I can add more things to the rules. And I'm going to, but I figured I wanted to at least go 2 sessions or 2 circuses using the core rules. And as I see how it plays out, because one thing I don't like doing is adding to rules before I understand them. And we've only done the circus once, so I at least want to do a full second circus before I
That's
start
fair.
seeing where
Yeah.
things might be helped or improved. So,
Yeah.
I'm listening to it. I'm actually going to change things and add new functionality, but not yet.
All right.
Not yet.
All I know is Otteron has to perform, but I need my pyrotechnics.
Atron, you're gonna perform this time?
I'm going to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right, so let's take a look at
Mhm.
our lineup then. The first thing I
Yes.
think we need to do is figure out who's out and who's in. Last time we opened up with Axel's amazing aviary, and he bit it hard. I'm kind of thinking he needs to take some time to keep training up.
Otteron would love to go first.
That's not fair to Axel. Like, he just rolled bad on the D20. Like, you can't blame someone for that.
Except that in game we don't know that he rolled bad. We just know that he crit failed twice in a row.
I famously roll bad every time a piece of plastic hits the table. Does that mean that my characters are all trash?
He froze up.
Yeah.
Actually,
And his birds
there-
were sick.
no, right. Actually, all the animals were sick last time. So it's indirectly his fault. So keep that in mind.
Fine. All right. So because I lost my notebook, who are all of our available acts? And this is good for the audience.
Yeah, sure. I'm glad you asked. So we have Axel's amazing aviary, which, as we said last time, pretty much bombed. We have the Dwarven Throwers, who didn't get a chance to go last time.
You got to do this slower. I'm writing it down.
All right.
Okay. I mean, not that slow.
We have Eliza and Mr. Tickles. She is a big snake act where she handles her deadly vipers and a giant anaconda. We also have the Flamboni sisters, who definitely got to go last time and did a great job. They juggle fire and tell jokes and all sorts of fun stuff. Then there's the Feather Fall 5, which also got to go last time. The net was a bit damaged, so they performed without a net, which is pretty dangerous, but they did wonderful. And last, and probably least, at least least favorite in my mind, is Mordain the Magician, the prima donna who had a big old stink about definitely needing to be the big number and nowhere else. I think she can take a week off.
You say last but not least, but you forget the most important act of all. Bardoff the bear! He's wonderful!
Yeah, but doesn't Bardoff just do the sideshow?
No.
Actually, interesting. Bardoff supposedly can perform nearly automatically. I don't actually have Bardoff listed, but while you talk, I will quickly figure out how to run Bardoff because Bardoff can run by himself. So
Okay,
I will
cool.
quickly figure that out.
Well,
All right, so we could do.
I'm
Nice.
thinking maybe I could spend the next, however much time I have before I have to go and figure out how to just run him into my act. Because that'd be great. Bardoff is Hap's best
Aw.
friend.
You can run
Hmm.
Bardoff in your act, and the only problem with that is then he's not separate then. He would just be part of your act.
Yeah, I don't mind just using him as flavor. I just want him to get to perform because he's a performance
Oh,
bear.
okay. In that case, then you can just do that. I don't need to. If you wanted him to perform on his own, he actually can. And supposedly the description is that he automatically knows what to do after years of training and can just go out on his own and just perform. So I would have to run up some stats. But if you just want to use him as part of your co-star, I can have him do the co-star role, kind of.
Yeah,
We'll
have
give
a
you a-
co-star with me.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
The only problem is I have to figure out now how he works into my act because I had it all figured out without it. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, so so we basically only have a couple performers who didn't get to go last time, and that would be the Dwarven Throwers and Eliza and her giant snake. It would be nice to give them a chance to go. Last time, Eliza was actually functioning as the ringleader.
We need a ringleader. Maybe that's Axel.
Does Axel have a good enough voice to be the ringleader this
Oh.
time?
Well,
No.
no.
Yeah, no.
Hey, here's an idea. The show starts in the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the pub and get Pruwen or that dwarf, and let's pay her to be our ringleader tonight. I guarantee you
What?
she could do a good job.
I don't.
I
You
have
want to take a
no
rando from a
idea.
bar and make her
Random
the head of
person.
the circus?
She's not a rando, she's a boss. She's used to yelling at people
No.
and telling them what to do.
No, that's just a crazy person in a bar with a gang. She's
Yeah,
pretty much a criminal with a
As
goat
a
backpack.
GM, I think this is an excellent idea.
No.
Yeah.
no.
There's
The
your
grown-ups are
indicator.
talking.
Well then, alright, let's hear it. Let's hear who the better idea is. Unless you just want to force Eliza to always be the ringmaster for now. Because we need a new ringmaster.
Yeah, we could probably use one.
Steve,
If
what was her
she's-
name?
Eliza.
No, it was Prudine.
Eliza.
Oh, the other one, the dwarf.
Don't tell.
Yeah, what was her name?
Two Punch.
And she comes with Violet. No, it was Prue something. That's how I remembered it, is because it almost was Prue.
Yeah,
It'd be a
Pruna.
genuinely bad idea.
Pruna Two Punch with her pet goat Violet.
That's what I'm saying. And she has a goat. Like, there is no way this doesn't generate something positive for the show. There's no way. This is the best idea.
Are you putting your faith in the goat or the woman?
Both.
I don't. We have not even auditioned them.
Well, this is a
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
decision, so
Oh.
if you all ixnay that, I'm gonna agree with it.
Yeah,
But I
there's
still
no
like
way
it.
Acheron would agree to that in character.
I don't need to see
0%
the film,
chance.
Rob. I know.
It's a visual medium.
I mean, some of it's a visual medium.
One of you all come up with an idea for the ringmaster, or it's gonna
I
be
just did.
Pruna.
Who did
No, it
it
could
last
just-
time?
Eliza did it last time. She could do
Then
it again.
she does it again.
She doesn't get to perform. Well, let's ask her.
All right, you go ask her.
Acheron will
I'll
perform.
go ask her.
Darius
I don't mind.
and Alhara will perform.
Yeah, so we'll be level 3. So what does that make our trick DCs this time?
18, I think.
Your DCs will be 18, correct?
15 plus. Alright.
Everything goes up.
It's 15 plus your level.
We get better,
Well,
so
that
our
makes it
tricks
17?
get harder.
No. It's the DC. It's from the DC chart. It's not 15 plus.
Oh, okay.
The DC chart for level 3 is 18. So
All right. So let's see. It's the morning. We wake up. We have breakfast. We're getting ready for the show. We're talking about what we're gonna do. And then Alhara says that I should go ask Eliza. So I will go ask Eliza.
If she wants to lead the circus again, MC the thing.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna go. Oh, is she on there? Yeah, she is on there. All right. So I'll go over to the bonfire and I'll sit down next to her. Excuse me, Miss Eliza. I wanted to ask you a question.
she's petting her snake, Mr. Tickles, And she's like, "Oh, hello, Hap. Yes, look, Mr. Tickles is very excited for the show tonight. Isn't that right?" And sure enough, Mr. Tickles, like, since you love all the animals and all the animals love you, sort of sneaks up and starts giving you little kisses on the cheek with with his tongue.
Mr. Tickles, you womanizer, you charming snake. Oh, I just love your little Oh gosh, you're getting me distracted. Miss Eliza, I'm supposed to ask you, since you did such a good job last time, would you be willing to be the ringmaster again for tonight's show?
Oh, of course, no problem. I loved being the ringmaster. It was a little discerning last time because I didn't know what was going on, and Mr. Tickles was sick. But now Mr. Tickles is well, and everyone is ready to perform, and everyone is sick no more, and all the shenanigans are taken care of. I'm sure it's going to be a great show tonight.
Ah, thank goodness. I'm really glad to hear that. I really wanted you to perform because I love watching your act with you and Mr. Tickles. But I knew that we needed a ringleader too, so I was like, oh, what do I do? I guess we'll just ask her. So that really helps everyone out.
Sure. I don't mind being the ringmaster. It's fine. Just let me know who's going to be going when, and I'll do my best of announcing it. And of course, if you need me to go on tonight, I can do double duty, no problem.
Well, why don't you just come sit with us while we plan? That way you kind of know the lineup as we talk about it.
Oh, excellent idea. I think I'm pretty much ready, so fine. And she brings Mr. Tickles over to go over the lineup with you.
Okay, good news, everyone. Eliza and Mr. Tickles have agreed to be the ringmaster, and on top of that, these outstanding performers have said that if we need them to, they'll do double duty. They can act, and they can announce our acts.
Excellent.
Good.
I hope there's a tiny top hat for the snake.
Mhm.
Oh, Darius, you're so silly. You know he doesn't have a top hat. You, on the other hand.
Oh, no, that's a good point.
I could make a top hat with enough time, but it would not be ready today.
Next show, that would be amazing.
Audron, it's when you say things like that that just really make me so ridiculously happy to have you in the family.
The problem is I'm not sure now if we're joking or not.
That's not a problem.
I'm
It's
deadly serious about a top hat for a snake.
Good. Then I will make it.
Eliza,
Oh, we need
looking
to
at
make
you all.
two top hats. One for Darius and one for Mr. Tickles. They can have matching top hats. Oh, and you can make little bow ties too.
She goes up to Ataran and says, "Oh, if you're going to make him a top hat, make sure it looks like mine." And of course, she has this really nice top hat. It's bright red with a big bow on it. It says, "Oh, can you maybe make his blue since he's a boy? But make sure you put a big flower on, a big blue flower. It would match so we can go on. That would be wonderful. I even think he would wear it. Would you?" And she's like looking at Mr. Tickles. "Oh, yes, you would wear that, wouldn't you? Oh, yes, I believe he will."
Blue it is, of course.
I love this plan.
But enough of top hats. What is the plan for the show? Now, keep in mind, depending upon the whims of the night, we have to decide on the lineup almost at the last second, like Modern used to, because if it's very windy, it might be very hard to do fire tricks, or if there's a rainstorm tonight, we might have to change the high wire act, and so forth.
So did we put a link in one of our chats where we see all the available options if one of us cannot perform? Like that list is the one that contains pyrotechnics?
No, so the way it works is you do purchase temporary upgrades, which you've done. Then you choose now the non-performer roles. You can change it later, but right now you decide if anyone's not going to be a performer. And it sounds like everyone's going to perform.
Okay.
When you're finally ready, we will semi-start the show. You have maybe an hour before show starts, and there will be a random event that occurs. And these can be, well, anything. Like last time it was the animals got loose and it went crazy. Then after the random event, then I figure out the starting anticipation. Then you perform the acts, and then we calculate payout. So between now and the start of the show, You have to figure out if there's any non-performer roles. It sounds like no one's going to do that. You need to figure out a random event, which I will do shortly when you say you're ready, and then we will quote start the show. But you can change it, and we don't have to do it all right now. If you kind of want to figure it out.
It seems to me like we'd come up with a plan of here's what we're going to try to do, and then if the event, if whatever happens that, for
On the
example, on the fly, like makes it so that Alhara can't perform, then we'll figure out who takes her place.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Steve, other than asking Bardoff to jump through a flaming hoop, I'm drawing like no ideas on this. You might want to just come up with stats for him real quick.
Nah, he can jump through hoops. You can have him jump over fire. You can be shooting fire that he jumps and ducks under, and you can there's lots of stuff you can do with fire.
Yeah, but I don't use regular fire. I use beautiful fire that looks like other things, and then
maybe you can have. Am I telling you how to do your job? You can have your little birds appear and have Bardoff chase after them, and have a little symphony of birds and Bardoff, and have a little adventure going on with you and the birds and your fire animals with Bardoff chasing them.
See, that's
throughout.
exactly what I was thinking about, but I'm sitting here would anyone like that though?
Clearly, he just needs to dance with you.
Yeah,
I thought about
honestly.
that too. I was going to ask you next.
People
Can
dance with
Bardoff
bears.
dance?
You know Bardoff's dance.
Sure.
You should mimic his dance and just enhance it with
Yes,
fire.
I will say you
Okay.
guys can dance together with your fire.
Okay, we'll do that
Dance.
then.
You ready?
I mean,
okay.
Bard is in his name, right? So
He is my Prince Charming, and we shall dance like we're at a beautiful gala.
Okay.
until you fail the check.
The professor comes over to you all and is like, "Well, is everyone's ready? I think this week's show is going to go much better than last week's. Although last week's was a success, but I will say it was a very tricky success. In the end, everything worked out well, but that was a rough night and a rough couple of days, especially for you four. So hopefully things go a little bit better this week. Are you ready? Shall we let everyone in?"
Ataran kind of smirks a little as the professor's talking and makes a few hand gestures as if warding themselves against the unluck.
I'm so ready for this. The last week has been so hard. I'm just ready to return to normalcy.
Okay, that sounds great. Now let's quickly make Bardoff.
I mean, if he's just going to co-star, you don't have to make him, right?
I want a picture of him.
Oh, yeah. We need that.
Okay, so while you're doing that, so I was thinking, Hap, did you want to do the big number this time?
Oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Isn't that something that maybe you and Darius would be better at?
I don't know. I think Darius and I were still going to do the build-up portion since our acts are intertwined.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I can try.
I think you're ready for it.
Oh,
I really
You're
think you're ready
definitely
for it.
You definitely are. You've
I
only
hope
grown
you're right.
stronger. And now you've got a bear. What better?
Oh, he's so good. I guess Bardoff
We have
would
to
be a big
showcase
help.
the bear, if nothing else.
He's very cute. People will love him.
Do it for Bardoff.
I won't say no, especially if you all insist like this. But if I let you down, don't say I didn't warn you.
You can never let us down. It is physically impossible.
The only failure is not trying.
Well, that's nice
Wise
to hear some words of
words.
encouragement from you, Octron. I didn't know you had it in you.
They have a complicated origin, but they are true.
There, Bardoff sits right on top of you, Hap. There.
I like a big lap bear. This is my favorite. I'm gonna pet his little head. He's your buddy.
There you go. You can sit. Both Hap and Atron are sitting on the bear's lap. Look at that. Darius. Oh, Darius goes in.
I
He's
love
like,
Darius. I'll
"Ooh."
cuddle right in there.
Get a big bear hug.
A big old bear hug for a bear of a man.
I'll tell him. I'll say, Bardoff, bear hug.
Oh man, we're getting silly. All right, let's start the show.
Let's do.
Are you ready?
We are ready.
Okay,
You're not ready.
no, we're actually not ready. So let's see. We have 4 stages, is it? Or is it 3?
There's
Yarm-
3 rings.
Three
rings.
rings. No, I know there's 3 rings, but there's like the opening. How many acts is in the opening?
Okay, so Act 1 is the opener, and there's 1 trick performed then. Act 2 is the build-up, and there are 2 different tricks performed then, but that's where Darius and Alhara have their sort of combined act, where one leads into the other. The 3rd act is the big number, and that's just 1 trick, and that's all Hap. Then Act 4 is the finale, and that is 3 different tricks.
3 tricks. All right, so let's see. Act 2 is spoken for. We have Darius in Alhara. Where is Atron going to go? Are you opening for us?
I figured.
Yes.
I think that's a great place. All right, well that means that our final act includes no PCs. Are we okay with that?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Sure.
Okay, which NPCs do we want for this?
So last time we had the Featherfall 5, the Flamboni sisters, and you. Now that you're not in there, there's an open spot. I'm thinking we'll put the Dwarven Throwers in there.
Dwarven Throwers.
Are we definitely putting Axel on the back burner? He doesn't get a chance to redeem himself?
He
Not
might
this week.
have to step in if something goes wrong.
And then he should still
Okay,
be ready,
okay.
though.
All right, so I'll put it down. We have Flamboni, Featherfall,
Silly
and Dwarf Throwers. All right, good to go. Now, what we're going to have to do is each one of us is going to have to pick one of those NPCs and describe their act. Does anybody have any that stands out to them? Or is that overkill?
I'll
Do we
do
just
any.
say, like, the Flambonis do
when
their
it's time,
juggling?
we'll decide.
Ah, okay, that's
Yeah.
fair. That's good. That's good.
I think it's
overplayed.
overkill.
Okay, are you ready for the random event?
Yeah, we're ready for
No.
the random event. Let's
Yes.
do it.
I hope it's involving cake. Randomly cake.
Interesting. You're not gonna like this.
I mean, we're not going to like any of them, so.
Are
Yeah,
they
none
all
of them are
bad
good.
or are some positive?
Druids. Random druids.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mind
You-
is willing.
You're letting everyone into the tent. As you let everyone into the tent, you hear the screams and laughter of children and people getting ready to watch the show. However, although your advertisements didn't go so well over the last few days, you managed to generate a lot of excitement through your deeds and through whispers. And in turn, it looks like everyone and their mother and their mother's mother has shown up to watch the show tonight. What does that mean for you? When you peek out, you see the tent is overflowing with people.
Hap is extremely nervous right now. Full of anxiety. Knees shaking, almost crying and everything.
Oh, look at all those people in the stands.
Oh boy. Filled.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
stands are filled. So much so that your maximum anticipation has increased by 20.
What?
It hasn't increased yet, right? Is
No,
that
the
right?
maximum. So the limit is
Potential.
increased, right?
Potential,
The
but-
ceiling has been raised.
But having all these people, let's see how much it increases. 4d6.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Oh, you're so lucky. A 9. That's
Not
all I
terrible
rolled
at all.
is a 9. Oh my god,
Okay.
that could have been a disaster.
So it
your max,
increases. Wow.
so
max
your
increases by
maximum
20.
anticipation is 40, and your starting anticipation is plus 9, so 28.
Is that the starting
Ooh.
excitement?
No, you actually do have starting.
Oh, I see.
excitement.
I see. Max anticipation and
Yeah,
starting
you actually have
anticipation.
a,
Okay.
you actually have a starting excitement of 4, and that was because of your showdown, I believe, with the evil circus. So
Does Otteron's knowledge of crowds, can it be leveraged in some way to help better manage the anticipation or excitement because
That's
of
so
how
clever.
big this group
Mhm.
is?
sure, I'll give
That's
it to you.
real-
Give me a roll.
That's real smart.
I'm gonna
Guidance.
let you roll it. No guidance on a roll.
Sure.
it.
Let's see.
Well, he took
Plus
lore
9.
crowds. I will give you something. Let's see what happens. Let's see the roll. Come on, roll.
20.
20,
11 plus
not bad.
9.
Dirty 20.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. This is what Otteron's going to have to do. Knowing what they know about crowds, Otteron will actually have to go out for the first hour of the circus and help manage and organize the crowds so that he can either decrease the anticipation by, I'll say, 1d4 or increase the excitement by 1d4. It's up to you.
And that's before the actual start.
Before it starts.
Okay, which they would do. especially recognizing how busy it is. So do we want the excitement or the lowered anticipation?
Well,
Risk it
either
for
way,
the biscuit.
I was going to say we're going to try to get the numbers essentially to meet. So I'd say increasing our excitement is going to be overall a better thing to do.
Except, right, but if you don't match, if you go over the anticipation, you still have a successful show. But if you don't
Correct.
match the anticipation, then your show is not successful.
Right, but the difference between our current excitement and our current anticipation with 1d4 roll will essentially be the same whether the anticipation's lowered or the excitement's raised. But raising the excitement overall seems like it's
More beneficial.
It's
no,
more
it
beneficial.
is. Mathematically, that works
because
out
your
better for
payout
us.
is still based on your final numbers. So
True. How about this? I will make it that you can. Actually, I meant to do this. Is that I meant to do. You can increase excitement by 1d4 or lower anticipation by 1d6. Oh,
I
that makes
still
a
think we take the
slight
D4.
I still think we take the d4. I think we're okay. How
Okay.
much did
Yeah,
it increase
I'm
with the
leaning that
overcrowd?
way.
9, you said?
yes.
Yeah, 9.
So it's up to
Okay.
Hey, can
Yeah,
we get a
all right.
quick description of what Atron actually does with the crowd?
Yeah, you will when I get there. Do you want me to roll the 1d4 first?
Sure.
All right, yeah, that'll help me. Ooh, 3.
I like it.
So Otteron adds a little dark smudge under their eyes and around their eyes and walks out very sort of menacingly, has Chulagosh on their shoulder, kind of lifting their wings, and is speaking of some of the dark magic that they're going to prepare for the circus tonight. You know, giving playful comments to the kids, winking to the adults, and moving through the crowd as if they were this dark, magical supervillain.
That's so fun.
Yeah, very dark Disney characters as they move through the park.
Interesting.
Okay.
You find like one kid and you're like, you will make a fine addition to my stew.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Okay, so your starting anticipation is now 7.
Excitement, yes.
Excitement.
Excitement, sorry. It's a lot of. Okay. Your starting excitement is now 7, and your starting anticipation is 28, and your max anticipation can go to 40. It's going to be a little tougher this time.
Yup.
Oh, by the way, I forgot there's one more thing. Because of the beer, the crowd is a little bit more rowdy than usual.
Mm-hmm.
So, during each act, one performer, chosen randomly if there's more than one during those acts, will have a -1 penalty to do all your trick checks because it's loud and rowdy and hecklers.
Holy crap.
It happens.
So, like, Otteron going first, they'll have a -1 to their roll because they're alone.
Automatically, correct.
If I kill them, then do I get my +1 back?
It's the whole,
Yeah.
it's the whole crowd. It's like an old ball game.
fine.
Can't just get rid of one. Sorry about that.
Makes sense.
I
Otteron
wonder if the
figured.
beer was actually a good idea.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
think
that's
so.
the downside of the beer.
That's
is-
a big
good idea.
downside.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
down.
not bad. It's only
I
one
believe in
person
the
and
heart of the
minus
dice.
one. Yeah, it's not
I
terrible.
don't.
Well, you probably shouldn't.
I'm a bad roller. Like, this is really bad for me.
So, okay, you have it and perform acts and tricks. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Oh,
you know
gosh.
what
Yes.
you're going to be doing? Okay, here we go.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat 3-Ring Adventure, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember to bribe the GM.